Hello everyone and welcome back to Yoga for Writers. Today we have the last flow of the year. I thought it was appropriate for it to be a meditation because I try to do at least one meditation with you guys once a month. So the last one of the year, it just made sense that it would be one that we use to reflect on the year that's gone and the year that we'd like to have, our intentions for 2026. Now, no matter when you are listening to this, when you're playing this, maybe in some future, you can revisit this session whenever you want to set an intention or whenever you want to reflect on a stage of your life, a time of your life, a transition, anything like that, because the new year, the new calendar year, isn't something that is definitive, right? We made up the calendar isn't real, the days of the week, the months, everything that we go by isn't real. We made it up, and it's just something that we've become used to and something that we celebrate. A lot of us anyway, not all cultures do. And so I want you to remember that you can change and grow, reflect and set intentions at any point in your life. Every new week can be a time for New Year's resolutions. Every new month, every new season, every change in your life, like a new job or a new relationship, a new hobby, a new birthday, whatever it is. We are always going through change. We are always going through transitions, and therefore we can always reflect and set intentions. So when you're ready with that massive preamble, let's take a seat on the mat together. So for the last time in 2025, let's take a deep breath together. Let it out with a big sigh. Maybe roll the shoulders. Roll the neck. And I invite you to first reflect. So as we're sitting here in gentle meditation, hands can be pressed downward because we're grounding into what has already gone. So the year has already passed. If you're watching this video in real time, then it means 2025 is coming to a close, and that's it. There's no more days left in this year, and that's okay. And by grounding down with our palms, we're putting our hands into a mudra that symbolizes we are not asking for anything, we're not seeking anything. Instead, we're in tune with ourselves, where we are, our present moment, and we are instead rooting down. So I would like you for this reflection stage to root down with your palms and with your mindset, and think about the different stages of the year. What did January through March feel like? So the beginning of the year is usually winter time. If you're in the northern hemisphere, it's colder, the days are shorter. Maybe there's a bit of a slump after the Christmas spirit, if you celebrate Christmas. How did you feel at the beginning of the year? I know for me that I decided to do January differently this year. I decided not to set lots of grand intentions and grand goals right at the beginning of the year. Instead, allow myself to relax into the new year. And that's very unlike me. Instead, I usually like to, go real quick into the goal setting and doing things, but I decided not to this year. And I'm really glad that I did. So what was the first half like? The first segment like? Then I want you to think of what April through June was like. What was your springtime like? Did you spring into action? Did you feel renewed with the growing of the flowers and the coming of the sunshine? Did that change into a new season bring you to life? Did you feel the solar energy? Or was it perhaps a time of restfulness for you, especially if you did spend the beginning of the year doing a lot of things? Did you then rest in that next stage? I know for me that I decided to spring into action in the spring months after my restfulness and my magpie intentions for winter, just picking up little seeds, little things that inspired me. I then took all of that into being creatively active in the spring, and again that was a very enjoyable experience for me. And in the spring I also turned 30, so that was a massive milestone going into a new decade, and I believe I did that with grace. I did it with authenticity. I did it exactly the way I wanted and needed to, and I've very much enjoyed my 30s so far. It's not been a full year yet, but I very much enjoyed it, and I'm very grateful for all the things that were gifted to me, all the blessings in springtime. So take a moment to think about how your spring was, how your second part of the year was. Now, what about July through to September? How was your summer? Did you soak up the heat and the solar energy and the activity, the long days? Did you go into the summer solstice with an energetic rigor, like ready to go and do things? Or did you take that heat as a chance to just relax and rest and soak up that solar energy in order to use in the later months? What was the middle of your year like? What changes did it bring? What lessons did you learn? And lastly, what about October through to December? The end of the year, the last 3 months, what did that gift you? What did that teach you? Was there anything that you learned with the shedding of the leaves? I think autumn is a time of year that's very symbolic for a lot of people. It's kind of become commercialized, to be honest, with pumpkin picking and pumpkin spice lattes and all these different things. And I love pumpkins just as much as the next person, but we have to be careful not to buy into the commercialization of these beautiful natural things. So this natural event of the shedding of leaves, the flowers dying, the growing darkness, that is very beautiful, and there's a reason that we, like me especially, likes to write during this time. The moody vibes, curl up with a blanket, read a book and have the fire on, like these things are really quite comforting and cozy, and I think that that's beautiful. That's becoming such a trendy thing, I suppose, but it's also something we need to be mindful of. And so anyway, what did you feel during that period? Did it bring you a sense of authentic enjoyment, or did you maybe buy into all of those things? Maybe it's something you want to correct for next year. Is it something that you're excited to do again? Is it something that you now mourn for that's gone? Is Halloween maybe a spooky time, an exciting time for you? Is it a time where you like to create? What about that end of the year, the October, November, December, did you enjoy, and what did it bring you? What did it teach you? Now, before we go into the second half of this video where we will set intentions for 2026, I would like to invite you, if you would like, to reach for a journal, a notebook, your phone, whatever, in order for you to write down a few of the things that you've reflected on so far, because I would hate for you to forget them. And I especially want you to write down anything that was an achievement, anything that you're proud of yourself for, the highlights of your year, the lessons that you learned. I think that's really, really key. And reflection is all about learning lessons. And sometimes we can learn something and forget that we learned it, and then we have to relearn it later. So instead, if we can capture those lessons, to capture the things that we taught, and maybe the things that we were taught by others or that we taught others as well, if we could capture all those things, and hopefully we grow as people. So take a moment to pause the video now, to reach for your journal and jot down all of those different things that you've reflected on throughout the year. What gifts were given to you? What were your favourite moments? Maybe what hard lessons did you have to learn? What things do you feel like maybe you relearned because you learned the lesson last year or the year before or the year before that? Is there anything that you would like to not continue relearning? Any cycles you'd like to break? Were there any obstacles you had to overcome? Did you perhaps not get the success that you were looking for, but you got really, really close, or you took some progressive steps towards an end goal, which obviously is something that is so, so important and beautiful. So do not undercut the great achievement that it is to just take a step forward. Even if it's a tiny step, it still counts, and that's one less step that you now have to take next year towards your goals. So even if success doesn't look quite like what you imagined this time last year, you are still successful in whatever you achieved. So please write that down and don't forget. Okay, I assume you're now ready to go on to part 2, which is the intention setting. So for this part, we're going to put our hands up in offering. We're going to flip the mudra so that we are welcoming new energy. We are welcoming new lessons. We are welcoming the divine universal energy, whatever you want to call it. You can call it God, you can call it spirit, you can call it soul, whatever, source. And we are just channeling that to help guide us through the next year of our lives. So let's take a moment to just feel where we're at with this change of mudra, to feel the shift in energy, to really sit up straight this time, even more so than before, so that the crown of our head is reaching out. Our third eye is open, so there's no crease in between the brows. Our third eye is open, our inner wisdom, our inner teacher. Our heart chakra is open, willing to learn lessons even if they're painful. Our throat chakra is open, allowing us to speak the truth, whether it's to others or to ourselves. And of course, we can't ever progress or receive if we are not rooted. So we should be rooted in our root chakra and our sacral chakra, rooted in all the lessons we've learned, all the people we've met, all the experiences we've had. Let it be the foundation for any grand change that is coming in the next year, any new lessons, any new journeys, and may we always feel guided along the way. So once your energy feels aligned, your chakras feel open and willing, when you feel you are surrendering, let's take a moment to visualize. So you might want to close your eyes and visualize you're walking up a set of stairs. It's not a lot of stairs, it doesn't have to be fancy. You're just walking up the stairs. And at the top of the stairs, there is 2 sets of doors. Perhaps these doors are glowing. Perhaps they have a golden trim. Perhaps it's got your name emblazoned along the door. And you take a deep breath and you realize that this is a door to change. That once you step through, there is no turning back. And as scary as that sounds, it's not. It's an invitation to find your highest self. Or I don't fully love that vocabulary, especially as it's been used lately. Maybe we could just find our favourite self, or our most lovable self, or the self that feels most weightless, less burdened. That version of ourselves is through the door, and once we step through, we're deciding to leave behind the baggage of our other selves. Now, there is no undoing what has been done, and every experience is a chink in our armor, but it's not something we have to carry forever. Sometimes people carry baggage into new places, new relationships, and they needn't do that. We can choose at any time in life to set the bags down, to bring the lessons with us, because as I say, there will always be chinks in our armor, things that try to hurt us. But we needn't be wounded forever. We needn't be weighed down and anchored by those things forever. My intention for next year, which I will talk about in a lot more detail in another video, is to reclaim. It's about me reclaiming myself, because I have been carrying way too much baggage. And I feel like this year was a beautiful gift for me to grow and to realize that I was this awesome person all along, and I could do so many things all along. It just took me a long time to realize that. And so after we've taken a deep breath together, guys, we blow out fiercely, maybe a lion's breath, tongue out, unashamed, unapologetic, and we step through the doors. And when you step through, there's this wonderful light. It's whatever your favorite color is, it's warm or it's cool, and it feels so good. It doesn't feel like a wind that's trying to blow you over. Instead, a wind beneath your wings, ready to lift you, ready to help you to soar. Because now you are a lot more weightless. Now that you've set the bags down, there is so much that you can be. Now, this isn't about material gain or hustle culture or trying to strive to achieve and be something. Instead, we already are perfect, beautiful selves. This is instead about unlearning the conditions of our past, all the things we were taught that were incorrect, all the things we thought about ourselves or our lives, all the limitations, all of the things that held us down. This is our chance to walk away from all of that, to decide that we're leaving it on the other side of the door. And in that weightlessness, with the wind in our wings, we can now decide to do so much more. And what we choose to do will come from in here, will come from our soul, our spirit, our intuition, the inner knowing within ourselves that knows this is what I was meant to do, this is who I was meant to be, and this feels good. And of course, life will never be easy. There will always be more things that add weight to you and bring you back down to the ground. But remember that at any stage in life, you can return to this state and you can walk up a new set of stairs and walk through a new door to leave that baggage behind as many times as you need to. So I'll leave you with that visualization. Think about everything that you're setting down, everything that you no longer want to carry, and think about what weightlessness would really feel like. What would that mean for you in 2026? What would your favourite self, your most lovable self look like? What would they do? Who would they be? How would they act? How would they treat others? What people would be with them on that journey? And when you're ready, you can flutter your eyes open, wriggle your fingers and toes, come back into yourself. This body that you're in, this one side of ourselves, this physical aspect of ourselves, is sometimes a heaviness, is sometimes bearing the weight of our pain and the experiences that we've been through. But our subtle body, the other layers of our body, will always be so much bigger than this one. And when we meditate, when we go back inward, we remember that, and we can help to grow that, so that this physical body, this smaller body, the gross body, can heal and grow and feel a little less heavy each time. So thank you for sitting with me. I know this was a longer meditation, but we had a lot to think about. I hope that you've written down a lot of different things to think about for the year that you've had. I want you to take that visualization, that weightlessness into 2026. And I am really, really grateful for every single one of you for deciding to follow me, for liking my videos, for sharing my videos, for just being here with me now. I am so grateful. I never would have thought that this would be me at the end of 25. So I am very, very happy and very, very grateful to all of you for the time that you've shared with me, especially in this beginning stages of my yoga practice. So for the last time this year, let's bring our hands to heart center. Take a deep breath and bow. Namaste to you all, and Happy New Year. Take good care.